Hey guys, what is going on? It is your good buddy Sam, and it's time for another exciting MaxMSP tutorial. I hope things are going good for you in whatever you happen to be doing at the moment. I hope your day has been productive and your evening is going to be, calm or productive or exciting or whatever it is you want your evening to be. I just got back from the supermarket and picked up some delicious, cheap supermarket wine, taking advantage of the fact that there is delicious, cheap supermarket wine available in all these French supermarkets. Tonight's wine will be the wine pairing for this tutorial is a Côte du Rhône Village Laudan 2014. So if you know anything about wine, you can either congratulate me on my amazing taste or, judge me for having no taste whatsoever. I wouldn't know, to be honest. Enough about wine, though. Wine is fine, as the rhyme evidently goes. But that's not interesting for us right now. What's interesting for us right now is sound, and in particular, the sound of this karma object. I accidentally clicked on the name of the author and not the object karma. What is karma? Well, to say nothing of the particular religious traditions from which the word arises, karma is an object that lets you do recording. And I know what you're thinking, there is a recording object, it's called record. Well, what karma does is let you do overdub recording on top of recordings. And this is useful because if you've ever tried to do it using record, you'll find that you get lots of clicks and discontinuities where, say, the audio when your recording goes on top of itself or at your loop points or when you start and stop or whatever. A million things can go wrong. And Karma adds ramps and takes care of all that stuff for you. So go ahead and find this Karma object and install it if you haven't installed it already by going to, File, Package Manager, Home, and then look for Karma, click on it and install it. And then in your patch, actually, for reasons that will become apparent later, I'm going to make a project. So go File, New Project, and then I'm going to call this one Karma Tutorial. A very creative name. I'm a hyper-creative person, so I can come up with creative names like Karma Tutorial. And bottom left of this window, little plus, click Add New File, and call this one, main or whatever. Cool, so let's see how Karma works. First thing you need, buffer to put your audio in. Buffer tilde, I'm gonna call mine K buffer. Why not? And I'm gonna make it 5 seconds long. That'll just be the Karma actually handles setting the length of the loop automatically, but the length of the buffer here, that's the longest it can possibly be. So now let's make a karma tilde object and give it the argument k buffer. So it points to this buffer. And then let's make an easy ADC and an easy DAC to record and play back sound, or to get sound in and get sound out rather, I guess. What else? This inlet over here, that's where we set the speed. You need to set a speed of something in order to record or play back. And for now, we're just going to make the speed of 1 for normal forward playback and recording. And then this outlet here reports information about the karma tilde object. Sorry for these texts, by the way. It's blowing my mind. I haven't gotten any text for like 3 weeks, and now suddenly in the middle of a tutorial, I'm blowing up. So anyway, the last outlet here of this karma tilde object, it reports information about what's going on in Karma. So come into the help patcher. This is what I do. Come into the help patcher, take all this stuff down here, copy it, close the patcher, paste it into your patch. And the last thing you have to do before we're ready to go here is this waveform tilde object here. You need to set the name of the waveform tilde object to be the same as this buffer so that you can actually see what's going on in your buffer and not the buffer from the help patcher. But this object, if you open up the inspector, it's not actually a waveform tilde. It's a multi-slider that's on top of the wave tilde. So move that down, and then click on the R slider under that, and move that down, and then click on the R slider under that, and move that down, and then finally click on the waveform tilde object way at the bottom. Did I mess this up? No, of course not. Click on the waveform tilde object at the bottom and set the buffer tilde object name to be kbuffer. Cool. And then move all these guys back up on top of the waveform tilde. Almost good to go. We just need 3 messages because Karma takes 3 different messages to control its operation. The messages are record, play, and stop. So we'll make one called record, one called play, and one called stop. Not sure why I felt the need to read those words that way, but I did. So record, play, and stop, they go into Karma. And now we are ready to go. So when you push record, Karma starts recording, and you can see it recording here into the buffer. You push stop, and it automatically adjusts the beginning and end points of this recording, so that when you push play, Karma starts recording, and you can see it recording here into the buffer. Karma starts recording, and you can see it recording here. It will loop exactly the length of what you recorded. And then the cool thing is that if you push record, well, now that I've stopped it, I'll just start making a new recording. But the cool thing now is that if you push play instead of record, or instead of stop, and now if I push record again, I'm now recording on top of what's already in there. And nothing stops you from going back and recording even more, you know? I'm now recording on top of what's already started. I'm now recording on top of what's already started. I'm now recording on top of what's already started. Yeah, so anyway, of course, you can have an endless amount of goofy good time with that in and of itself, if you so chose. And there's certainly a lot of interesting things to be done with the Karma tilde object, just recording on top of your old recordings, making layers, doing that kind of stuff. But I want to show you something interesting that you can do with Karma if you're feeling like you want to get a little bit advanced. And that's building, so you can see here, so let's make a new recording. Stop record. Hi, here's a recording of me making a recording. Hi, here's a recording of me making a recording. If you set the speed here to be something other than 1, you know, it goes into chipmunk voice or whatever, and you get to the same sample but pitched up and played twice as fast. So what I'm going to do is build layered sounds out of many different instances of this sound played at different speeds all on top of each other. So to do that, come back here to the project window, and we're going to be using the poly tilde object to make a subpatcher that contains a Karma tilde object that refers back up to this master buffer. So make a new file here, and we'll call this kpoly, or maybe Karma poly. And here's what needs to go into this Karma poly object over here. So we need an in 1 to get stuff in, and out tilde 1 to get sound out. And in the middle here, we'll put a Karma tilde #1. And what the #1 does is it will let us supply to the poly tilde when we make it an argument. And that argument will be the name of our buffer. And then you'll see that it gets automatically filled in with whatever we happen to assign that argument to be. Sorry, I was moving objects while saying that sentence, and so I don't know if what I actually said made any sense, but I'll show you immediately what I'm talking about. So we'll come in here and make a poly tilde, and since this patcher is called Karma poly, we'll go Karma poly 8 at args kbuffer. And then if you double click on this poly to see what's inside it, nothing is inside it. Okay, fair enough. I think it's because I haven't saved this one. Now I've saved it. So if I come back into this patch, delete this and undo, delete it to refresh it, double click. Here you can see the first instance, and the #1 here from the template patcher has been replaced by kbuffer, the argument that we supplied over here. So that's good. Cool. So what else should this thing do? Well, I want to be able to play, pause, or play and stop this Karma using MIDI messages. So what I'm going to do in order to do that is basically treat MIDI note on as if it's a play message and MIDI note off as a stop message. So because I want to route notes on and notes off separately, I'm going to start by using a ZLRev object here to reverse the pitch velocity pairs to be velocity pitch pairs, and then use a route 0 object here to get a hold of the messages that are, so to get a hold of note offs. So for a note off, we're going to, of course, send the stop message to Karma, and also set the speed of the Karma tilde playback object to be 0. So stop and set playback to be 0, the playback speed to be 0. And if it's a note on, then what we want to do depends on what the MIDI note happens to be. So what we'll do is unpack, or maybe just it makes more sense to do $2. We reversed it to be a velocity pitch pair, remember, so $2 is the pitch. So this is the pitch here, and what I want to do is scale that to be a speed. So I'm going to take middle C, MIDI note 60, to be the reference pitch by doing something like this. So we'll do load mess 60 into an M to F, and then divided by M to F. So we're going to take the MIDI pitch that comes in and convert that to a frequency. We'll also take the reference pitch of 60 and convert that to a frequency, and then divide the one by the other to figure out how fast this thing should actually be going. And we'll connect that here to this SIG object as well. So MIDI note off will set the speed to be 0, and MIDI note on will set the speed to be something appropriate for the particular pitch that we've picked. So it will make notes above middle C play faster and notes below middle C play slower than the original recording to tune the recording, essentially. And one more thing I forgot was to send the play message to Karma whenever the note is a note on. I think that'll be okay. And then finally, of course, we just need to route the audio out. And this, I think, is most of what we need to do inside this patch. So let's come back out to this guy, and then, oh, actually, I forgot one important thing, and that's to have a this poly, and this poly, remember, lets poly tilde know when the voice is busy or not. And by connecting it to the sig tilde here, whenever this thing is not, and this should also be sig 0. Whenever this thing is not playing a note, the signal will be 0, and so Poly will know that this particular instance is ready to receive a MIDI note message. So back in the main patch, easy DAC. Let's connect this up to the output of this Poly, and then let's make a K slider and set the mode to be polyphonic. Let's make a flush message so that we can send note offs for all the note ons in this K slider if we want to. Pack, or wait, can we do, let's do join. Oh, I love this. Let's do join MIDI note. Oh wait, join 3. No, I don't know how to do max. Let's just do pack integer and prepend MIDI note. Cool. So now I think this will let us play back this this sample over here at many different speeds at once. So if I just push middle C, record, hi, here's a recording of me making it plays it back at the original pitch, and then if I record, hi, here's a recording of me making play a different note, record, hi. I've done something wrong because, oh, that's terrifying. That was weird. I'm going to save this. Is this poly in there? Yes. So now if I do this, does it work? There's the lovely multi-pitched sound I was looking for. So this is playing back the whole sound at once. I don't really want to play the whole sound at once. I just want to play a little slice of it. So what I'm going to do is make a waveform tilde object over here, waveform tilde at buffer name kbuffer, and that's the contents of our buffer. And I'm going to make an R slider to go with this. And I'm going to set the float output of this R slider to be on and the range to be 1. And then we'll put the R slider on top of the waveform like this so that we can pick a range out of this waveform if we so choose. And then Karma actually takes a message called position to set the starting position of the loop, and window to set how much of the loop you actually want to play back. So I'm going to take this R slider and we'll make the first outlet here correspond to the position. And we'll subtract, so exclamation minus, the left from the right to get the width of the window that we want to play back. So position $1, window $1, with an exclamation minus, with a 0 point here to make this a floating point subtractor. And we want to connect those to the karmas that are inside of this poly tilde. So what I'm going to do is make another in 2 and connect that straight to karma. So this will give this poly tilde another inlet that connects straight to the karma object. Save this, and then we have to delete, undo delete to refresh that. And then we can connect these straight up like this. And these are only going to send to the first instance of poly by default. So I'm going to put a load mess target 0 in here so that all these messages will go to all of the instances of poly by default. And then of course I'll have to double click on this to actually send that message through to the poly tilde. So now, unless I'm mistaken, let's make sure these instances look the way they should, and they do. I should be able to select a little chunk of audio here and play some, play some notes. Listen to that, we've got a really horrible sounding texture. But this is fun, you can actually come in here and mess around with this a bit. Maybe make a slightly more interesting recording. This is a recording. It's a great deal of sounds being read by me. So let's try that.
This is a recording. This is a recording. This is a recording. This is a recording. It's a great
So one thing that I should point out here is that you shouldn't push this record button while notes are playing, or bad things will happen. And of course, you don't have to work with your own voice if your voice is as, isn't as mellifluous as mine is. You could say take some pre-recorded sounds you happen to have lying around and maybe use these instead. So let's see how this sounds. A little bit of piano music. So record and then hits. Oh, stop. I don't want to. Let's disconnect the microphone temporarily. Oh, I set the speed to 2 up here. That was silly. So let's record and then play a bit of piano into this thing. There's some lovely piano. Stop, and then let's hear these notes, yeah? One thing you'll notice that's kind of cool is that if you play a certain note and you get a loop, If you play one octave up, the loop will play back twice as fast, and you actually get rhythms going on. And if you play a fifth up from that, it's going to be three times as fast. Anyway, you get triplets. And of course, you can also use really short loops to get textures and granular-esque type stuff, and that's pretty cool. So I think that's all I want to talk about with this karma thing. There's more you can do, and maybe we'll look at that in another video one of these days. But for now, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed both the wine purchase tips and the karma tutorial. Again, it's a great object. I thoroughly encourage you to check it out and play around with it. I promise you will not regret it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Take it easy.